Hello and welcome to Flixplained, the channel where we take your favourite flicks and series and break them down to ensure you don't miss a single detail. Today we're going to be discussing Netflix's new series, Wednesday. This new rendition of the Addams Family was amazing, and the cast they chose could not have been better. In today's video, we're going to talk about everything we saw in Season 1, so make sure you stick around to find out if you missed anything when you watched it. If you haven't seen Netflix's Wednesday yet, be warned. This video contains massive spoilers. The first episode of Wednesday was titled, "Wednesday's Child is Full of Woe," which also happened to be the quote that Morticia thought of when she named a child. Wednesday opens up with the gothic outcast attending Nancy Reagan High School. However, after seeing her little brother Pugsley getting bullied, Wednesday retaliated by releasing piranhas into the pool during swimming practice. And in order to avoid attempted murder charges, Wednesday's parents decided to enroll her in their alma mater, the Nevermore Academy. Nevermore is a gothically magical school filled with magical beings like sirens, werewolves, and more. It'll be the perfect school for Wednesday, and honestly, the only reason she didn't want to go in the first place is that she didn't want to conform to her parents' standards or way of living. You know, teenager stuff. As the episode proceeds, we get to meet Wednesday's new roommate, a werewolf named Enid, who is basically the exact opposite of our main character. We also met Principal Larissa, Morticia's former roommate, along with a few other main characters. Wednesday finally said goodbye to her parents and then began exploring the school on her own. Little did she know, her father would leave Thing behind, the family's friend hand that he knew would keep an eye on Wednesday. After making some enemies, mainly a siren named Bianca, and a friend named Rowan, Wednesday almost had one of her dreams fulfilled when she almost got crushed by a falling gargoyle. However, it would turn out that this wasn't an accident. As the episode proceeded, we learned that she was having visions as her mother did, which meant that she was a seer, and in one of her visions, she saw her friend Rowan being killed in the woods. But when she went to save him, it turned out that he had planned to attack her. In fact, it was he who dropped the gargoyle on her. Apparently, Rowan's mother went to Nevermore 25 years ago and saw a future where she thought Wednesday would end up destroying the school, so he planned to kill her. But he didn't get the chance when it turned out the young goth teen's vision was accurate. Right before her eyes, Wednesday saw Rowan get ripped to shreds by some hideous monster. At the end of the episode, Wednesday begrudgingly admitted to her parents that she was loving her time at the new school. In the next episode, Woe is the Loneliest Number, the police could be seen looking for Rowan's body in the woods after Wednesday reported it, but they came up empty-handed and no one believed what she claimed to see. However, a day or so after the incident, Rowan somehow showed up back at the school, but Wednesday was unable to talk to him, and the principal explained that it was because he was being expelled. We learned that Larissa was lying though when Wednesday had Thing follow Rowan home, and even though he didn't see her, we in the audience saw that this version of Rowan was actually the principal in disguise. Then, after helping her team win the Edgar Allan Poe Cup, Wednesday proceeded to look for evidence in the woods to help her find out what happened to Rowan. And there, she ended up being joined by Tyler, a supposedly normal kid that she had met in the coffee shop on her first day in town. The episode ended with Wednesday looking through the books in the secret Nightshade room before being captured by a mysterious group of people. In episode 3, Friend or Woe, we learned that the group of people wasn't as mysterious as we thought. It was just other school kids who are members of the Nightshade, Nevermore's exclusive club. Wednesday quickly declined their offer to join and went on to continue her investigation. After searching for and discovering the home of Crackstone, one of the pilgrims that used to live in the area, Wednesday was finally able to have a vision. That was when she learned that her ancestor, Goody Addams, and the other outcasts in the town were thrown to a house that was subsequently lit on fire. Wednesday saw Goody escape from the house, but she was being chased down by Crackstone before waking up. After making the discovery, Wednesday decided to get a little payback for her ancestor, and during her cello performance in town, she managed to set the statue of Crackstone ablaze. At the end of the episode, we saw the monster attacking another random victim, only this time, the victim's camera captured multiple pictures of the murder. Episode 4, which was titled Whoa What a Night, mainly focused on the Raven Dance, which would end up with Wednesday performing one of the best goth dances since The Breakfast Club, and then the entire school getting covered in fake blood by the normies who were trying to recreate the iconic Carrie prank. Sadly, while all this was going down, Eugene was investigating the monster's lair on his own, and ended up being attacked, but not before spotting someone coming up and destroying the lair, but the only thing he really saw was the boots that they were wearing. By the time Wednesday got to Eugene, the monster had almost killed him, but luckily he was able to make it to the hospital. The next couple of episodes, You've Reaped What You Woe, Quid Pro Woe, and If You Don't Woe Me By Now, is filled with Wednesday investigating the monster which she discovered was called a Hyde. And during this investigation, she also ended up learning a bit more about her family history, mainly the murder charges that her father, Gomez, was facing. Thanks to his daughter's detective skills though, Gomez was proven innocent and formally apologized to by the sheriff. After that, the search for the hide continued, and for some reason, all signs were pointing to Wednesday's acquaintance Xavier. Not only was he discovered to have been painting the monster, but he also kept showing up out of nowhere right after the monster would attack, as if he was nearby. Eventually, Wednesday decided that she had had enough and wanted to confront Xavier about being the monster, and in the process, she ended up getting him arrested by the sheriff even though he was swearing his innocence. The only evidence found by the sheriff was actually planted by Wednesday, and following Xavier's arrest, Wednesday went to the cafe to talk to Tyler and explained that she felt that he could be trusted. However, she would learn that she was wrong when, at the end of the 7th episode, Wednesday kissed Tyler and saw a vision. The vision showed Tyler being the monster that she had been looking for, and even showed him killing the therapist, Dr. Kimber. Wednesday ran out of the cafe, seemingly crippled with fear. The final episode of the season was titled A Murder of Woes, and picked up right where episode 7 left off. After kissing Tyler and discovering that he was the hide this whole time, Wednesday set up a meeting with him in the woods where she confronted him with the information. He, of course, denied the killings, but Wednesday knew he was lying and brought backup just in case. She then had a group of sirens from the academy, which included Bianca, come out and use their powers to sedate Tyler. However, everyone decided Wednesday was going too far once they saw that she was willing to torture him to get him to admit what he had done. The sirens all left her with Tyler and went to tell the principal, who then proceeded to call the sheriff. The sheriff showed up just in time to save Tyler from Wednesday, though it was at this point that he was well aware of the monster that his son was. He had already heard Tyler's psych evaluation from Dr. Kimber. Tyler then proceeded to mock Wednesday at the precinct by admitting what he had done, and laughing that she had been wrong about him the entire time. After getting expelled from Nevermore, Wednesday said her goodbyes to everyone at school, and even stopped by to see Eugene, who had just woken up from his coma. It was there that Wednesday learned about the boost that Eugene had seen the night of his attack, which led to our young detective to deduce that Miss Thornhill had been controlling the hide the entire time. Wednesday then returned to the school and confronted Miss Thornhill about what she had done, and by her side was the principal, who had shapeshifted so that she looked like Tyler. The plan worked, and they got a full confession out of her. However, once she found out that she was tricked, Miss Thornhill sadly killed Larissa by injecting her with a vial of deadly nightshade. Thornhill then took Wednesday to the Crackstone Crypt, and after putting her in chains, Miss Thornhill began to enact her evil plan by using the body parts that she had Tyler take from each of his victims, and Wednesday's blood. She released the curse that Goody put on Crackstone's soul to bring him back from the dead. After reawakening, Crackstone swore his vengeance on Nevermore Academy and all of the outcasts. Wednesday did her best to confront him, but was sadly stabbed in the process. This is when Goody Adams appeared before Wednesday and told her that if she used the necklace that Morticia gave her, then Goody could pass through and heal Wednesday's stab wound. Meanwhile, Enid was finally able to transform into a full-on werewolf and battled against Tyler's hide form to keep her friend safe. Back at the school, Thing was able to free Xavier from the sheriff's car, now that the sheriff was looking for Tyler, which allowed Xavier and Bianca to meet up and help Wednesday try to defeat Crackstone. However, they aren't much help, as Crackstone easily fought off Bianca and Xavier. But once Wednesday realized what she was fighting for, she easily subdued Crackstone and stabbed him through the heart. Miss Thornhill tried one last Hail Mary and tried to rush into the school with a gun in order to put an end to Wednesday. But thankfully, Eugene was around. He stepped in and used a swarm of bees to attack Miss Thornhill. After finally saving Nevermore Academy, Wednesday was able to finish her novel, and before leaving the school, all of the students stopped by the principal's office to pay their respects to her after her death. Things aren't all for the better though. In the very last scene of the season, Wednesday was shown driving home from Nevermore Academy when she got a text message from an unknown number. The text included pictures of Wednesday as if she was being stalked. This seemingly made Wednesday happy, and you know what? It made us happy too, because that gives us hope for a second season. What was your favourite part of Tim Burton's new Wednesday series? Make sure you let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out our upcoming videos where we discuss a handful of facts that you might have missed on your first watch through of Wednesday.